My shirt sticks to my body, wet from sweat. As I wipe my face, I feel bumps and bruises from various bug bites. Journeying through the jungle is no easy task. I have to earn each step through hacking and cutting the dense vines and branches with a machete. In my peripheral vision, I can make out the dark forest encroaching on the corners of my eyes, but I try not to think about it. A low rumble in the distance announces the presence of a river nearby. The place in which I find myself is as terrifying as it is beautiful. Trees over 100 feet tall sag with dense greenery. Butterflies in bright, varied colors saunter by. The Amazon rainforest is home to the most highly adapted nature on Earth. Every organism has specialized to survive, either to defend, forage, or kill. And here I am, walking along, not prepared at all for the dangers that surround me, not prepared for the bird-eating tarantulas or the 20-foot-long poisonous snakes or the deadly-to-the-touch frogs. Here, rain and warm sunny air are as abundant as the flies that tickle your ears, making the competition so fierce that only the most adapted organisms can survive. Okay, I'm not actually in the Amazon rainforest, but while there is an immediate physical danger from creatures that have specialized in killing for millions of years, we have politicians. In America, resources are incredibly high. Instead of warm air and endless rain in Brazil, it is money and power here in the United States. And where there is much money and power, there will be incredible competition. Much like the creatures of the Amazon who see me as a food source, these ambitious and callous men and women see me as a leech sees a fat thigh. Unfortunately for me, the more money I make them, the less healthy I become. The more porn I watch and buy, the more medications I'm on, the more angry I get at the news, the more I scroll social media to numb my pain, the more processed food I eat, the more I replace meaningful activities with meaninglessness, the more money everyone makes. I have become prey to the jaguar, of which I cannot see, but watches me with keen eyes nonetheless, sitting and waiting for any sign of weakness. These creatures have become highly adapted to squeeze every drop of resources out of their prey as possible. And here I sit, craving McDonald's, forcing myself not to set up my gaming computer lest I be lost in a fit of yelling and screaming at a team who's pronouncing racial slurs instead of trying to win. No, I won't do that tonight. I did that last night. I would open X and scroll Instagram, however, but my phone is under the couch out in the living room. We're not on good terms with each other right now. It's an unhealthy relationship. So I resort to thinking. The very thing that makes nobody any money, as it turns out. And it sucks too, but I do it. Some wise gurus with big white beards on the internet told me to. I tried listening to the women with the pink beards and pickled mustaches, but it didn't work out. Elderly men with white beards will do. A few years into this weird practice of thinking, and I have become the weird guy. Instead of sitting on my phone, I stare at walls. I mumble to myself under my breath, and every once in a while I suck on my thumb. On the outside, it may look like I'm going crazy, but internally, I have a feeling that something about what I'm doing is right. The old ways beckon to me, though. It's like a forced march on which couches line the sides. Couches with squishmallows on them. Like, come on, squishmallows? After a godlike expression of will, I set the squishmallow down and continue marching. I resist the endless scrolling, the medications that will ease my pain, the pornography that creeps around hunchback in the back of my mind. I think that what is required of us today is being the weird guy or gal. Being the one who stares at walls and mumbles to oneself instead of drooling on our phones. I'll take sucking on my thumb over scrolling with it. When there's no time spent attached to the matrix, you do other things. You build, you talk to people, you learn things, real things, true things. In the Amazon rainforest, it is survivable. However, you have to know your stuff. It takes knowledge, planning, cooperation. The dangers never go away. They are still there, lurking in the shadows or underneath upturned leaves or on the tips of branches, but your eyes are open. You recognize the dangers. You know the tricks that organisms pull to gain advantage, and you know how to suck on your thumb, and that's not nothing. The rainforest will do everything in its power to poison, starve, or eat you. Either you let it, or you fight it. While politicians and greedy, power-hungry executives don't look like poisonous frogs, they are just as slimy. They have adapted and perfected the art of gaining power, keeping it and extracting wealth from their victims. Everywhere you turn, there are devices, advertisements, beliefs, and norms that seek to lure you in. In concert with a hyper-novel, technological, and cultural landscape, us basic Joes have not been able to keep up. We haven't had time to understand just what is being put in front of us, just how badly it affects our health and our minds. So what is the solution? Yes, it is to sit and think, to allow the thoughts inside you to reveal themselves, to examine them, ask them what they mean and where they come from. Mastering the skill is essential to take advantage of reading and study and knowledge. After learning to sit alone with our thoughts, we can take advantage of the written word, helping us understand why we have the thoughts that we do, why they are there, and what they mean. As it turns out, we are designed in a very specific way with mechanisms that can be twisted and manipulated. We can learn what those are and therefore be better able to defend ourselves against them. Psychology and evolutionary biology will become the swords with which we hack away the vines and branches. Philosophy, the fire to see down the dark hallways of trees. History to keep politicians, the leeches, from leeching our privates. These tools are now more than ever necessary for our survival, our evolutionary fitness, our ability to pass our genes down to the next generation. And not just the next generation, but many after that. From the book A Hunter-Gatherer's Guide to the 21st Century by Brett Weinstein and Heather Hang, we can look at culture and consciousness as like being in a push and pull relationship. Culture is where we sit when things are going well. Beliefs and practices that have been given us to our ancestors are still working as intended, and thus there's no need to change. You can think of culture like a warm house, safe from the rain. There's food and there's water and there's squishmallows. Consciousness, on the other hand, can be thought of as where we need to go when things aren't working anymore, when the knowledge and wisdom from our elders must be adjusted and changed. When society is conscious, if you will, people come together to innovate and share ideas and assess the risks of those ideas. We move out into the rain when the food runs low and the walls begin to rot. No longer can we rely on the structure erected in times past, but we must venture out into the dark and cold unknown. I don't think it takes someone that's like super smart to know that maybe culture isn't cutting it at the moment. Everyone can kind of feel something off when they spend time on their phone or pay for a porn website or take 34 medications. You can all feel the weirdness and sliminess that exists in the media and in our government. The old man's toe is sticking out from the curtain as the great Wizard of Oz lectures us on how things are all good, but I see a toe. It's sticking out. It's right there. No, don't look over there. It's time for us to pull the curtain back, to reveal the old man behind the curtain, to become conscious. This is an individual task before it can be a societal one. To learn to think, to learn to read, understand as best you can how your brain works, the thoughts that enter it and why, what your past means, why your brain evolved to be like it is. We have to enter the coming age with open eyes and ears, elevating above the fog, leading others to safe ground. Individually, we must be brave enough to face discomfort, to face reality as it is, to say what must be said. Individuals who are conscious can come together to solve novel problems that lay before us, to suggest new solutions and assess the trade-offs that inevitably rear their ugly heads. We must become conscious. We must become conscious as a society, lest we lose our way in the forest, at the mercy of incredibly dangerous and highly adapted people.